Okay, ladies, thank you for joining me today. Hadn't seen y'all really since December. I know Grace was here last semester, but didn't really run into her much since I was busy, and I'm sure she was working hard on her studies. But before we get started today, ladies, just introduce yourself for people who may not know who you are.
I'm Grace Joyce. I'm from Oxford, Mississippi, and I played soccer at ICC.
I'm Shinall, and I'm also from Oxford, Mississippi, and I played soccer at ICC, and now I'm currently at West Georgia.
Okay, well, once again, thank y'all for joining me. What we're going to mainly talk about is this last season and how special it was for the program, for the college, and of course for you and your teammates. It was a historic season. Most wins in program history was 17. You had a 16-game win streak, which was just unbelievable to watch from my point of view. I know it was for you guys to experience it. The advanced conference championship, semifinals, all that was first for the program. So let's just jump into the season there. You know, you had that kind of a slow start there, starting 1-3. But in that fourth game, you guys went toe-to-toe with the nationally ranked Holmes team that was considered, quote-unquote, the best team in the state. Was that kind of a turning point, you think, early in the season that, hey, we can hang with these ladies, so we're just as good and we can do this?
For sure.
Yeah. I would say so, yeah. Because we'd been struggling a lot up until that point, and then in that first Holmes game, we were able to get up and take the lead in that game. And after having a pretty discouraging first 3 games, to be like, hey, this is one of the best teams, and we're on the lead. We ended up losing, but for that time, it was like, we can do this.
Yeah. I mean, we were up on them like the majority of the game. I think it was the last 10 minutes they ended up coming back, and we knew, like, and Coach Stothert knew too, and he worked our tails off after that. Like, he really, like, ingrained it into us. And I think starting off 1-3 is what made our season so special, is because we faced that adversity really early on, and we completely turned it around.
Okay, well, you talking about him having you work hard. Let's talk about immediately what happened right after that game. You guys, you know, only rattled off 16 in a row. So that's really special. And, you know, win streaks are hard at any number, but 16 is just – it's unfathomable to a lot of people. So just, you know, talk about what it meant to be a part of that run, but also y'all had some tough tests in there as well, a few overtime games. And actually, let's talk specifically about that Northwest game where, Grace, you actually had the golden goal. Talk about that. We'll start with you, Grace. Just talk about that game. Take us through the emotions of that game out there in Senatobia.
That game for me was extremely frustrating because it felt like so many occasions we should have scored and we just couldn't, and we were down, and it was getting pretty discouraging. And then Emily Hayward got I'm pretty sure it was her, she got the tying goal, which sent us to overtime, which was such a relief because the last thing I wanted to do was lose that game, because I wanted us to get going, get that winning momentum, get that streak. And then overtime, I don't even know. And it was just Brittany Mathis. I remember passing me the ball, and I was just like, hey, might as well just shoot it. And it worked out, and it was really fun.
Allie, talk to us about that game too. You had a unique moment where you had to go in and actually play keeper for a play.
I actually forgot about that until now. That was fun.
See if you can remember a little bit of it. If I'm mistaken,
Yeah.
Anna Wesley had gotten a yellow card that was questionable, but
that was so funny.
Coach Strother turned around and said, because you had just subbed out, and said, Allie, go in. And, of course, you put on a penny and went in. Just now that you got your memory jogged, talk about that. Take us through that, because you were only in for one free kick, I believe. But
yeah, it was a free kick. The ball came extremely close to the goal. It kind of scared me, but I think it ended up going out of bounds a little wide. But no, shout out to
Allie. They knew that they shouldn't put it on goal. It was just going to come up big and stop it.
No, I know. I wish I would have just gone up and grabbed it. I'll just let it go out. But yeah, Anna West played the entire season like in goal, didn't have a backup, and the fact that she did that we played a bunch of games this year, or last year. So shout out to her for that. And then also in that game, I think the Northwest keeper actually like broke a record for like most saves in a game. So like, and we were putting it on them. She just had a phenomenal game, and then it just wasn't going our way. And luckily, Grace Ann saved us 2 years in a row with Northwest. And We came out with the win.
I forgot about that being in the freshman year
Yeah.
too. So
Uh-huh.
you just had their number, didn't you, Grace?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Okay. Well, now hey, that game was over. It was exciting. It was intense. But 4 days later, y'all hosted Gulf Coast and had another battle. And Allie, you actually, I believe, got the game winner in that one in like the 80th or 81st minute. If y'all remember anything about that game, talk about that game and how much of a challenge it was coming off that overtime thriller. And then you had to come home 4 days later and you got another good team. No in division, luckily, but you knew you might see them again and eventually did see them again in playoffs.
Yeah, we knew we were going to have to be mentally tough for that game, and I don't think that we were. I think we were a little fatigued because that was in the time where we were having a bunch of games at one or in a few week span, and I don't know. I remember we let our guard down a little bit on them, and Gulf Coast has always been a challenge for ICC, and I think we knew that, and we had a lot of pressure on us, but I'm just glad we came out at the end. I don't remember who it was, probably Emily. I'm not sure. Somebody sent a ball across to me. It was like perfect, and all I had to do was just tap it in. So it was nice, real fun.
Grace, what about that game for you stood out?
I don't remember much about that game, but I do remember being really nervous during it, and then Allie getting the go ahead, the game winner, and it was just like, oh, like there's still a game to play, so anything could happen. But I just remember like a weight off my shoulders. I was like, okay, let's go, let's finish it out, and let's get this win.
Okay, well, eventually y'all did get the win. Y'all wound up sweeping the entire month of September. But then October 1st came, and here comes Holmes to Fulton. But this time, not only y'all went, like you said, you went up on them at their place, but hey, here they are in Fulton. Y'all got a 3-2 win on them. Talk about not necessarily getting revenge, because it wasn't a revenge game, or at least I don't think it was, but just saying, hey, we knew we could go head-to-head with them, toe-to-toe with them, and they came to our place and we got the W. Talk about that game and take us through that and the emotions that you and all your teammates felt.
It was amazing. Literally my favorite day, and my favorite picture of me and Grace. We were walking off the field at the end of that game, and I think it was her mom caught a picture of us, and we had our hands in the air. We were just like, we were having so much fun. That was the best game, honestly.
Yeah, especially like because they scored pretty quickly in that game, and it would have been very easy for us to get down and get discouraged and just be like, oh, I guess we're losing to them again. But like it showed a lot of our fight as a team, which we like showed later in the season to be able to continue our streak and make it to the finals. That like to just be fighting back even if things aren't going our way. And then Emily, mention her again, got the equalizer, and that was like, okay, it's basically 0-0 again. Let's play. And then we came out on top, which was like the happiest thing. It was so much fun.
Okay, well, after that game, y'all managed to continue your streak all the way through October, and you got to playoffs. Well, who'd you get in playoffs? You got Gulf Coast right off the bat. So, a little bit different though. Y'all didn't seem to struggle with them in playoffs there, and you were able to make the conference tournament for the first time in program history. And then you went down there and shut out Pearl River in the semifinals to make it to the finals. Talk a little bit about those two games. Take us through that and what it means to be able to take the program to somewhere it's never been and kind of rewrite the history books.
I think after that Holmes game, we got a lot of confidence, and I think that's what helped us in that Gulf Coast game. I think did we shut them out in that game?
Yeah, shut them out too.
Yeah, and I think we got a lot of confidence that, and then going into the state tournament, obviously that helped a lot. And playing against Pearl River, were we down for a little bit of that?
No, you shut them out.
Oh, it's 2-0 for that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting all my games like confused. That was awesome.
We didn't
I remember extremely happy after that game.
Yeah, that was awesome. And like Allie said, like beating Holmes, like just kind of gave us momentum for the rest of the season. And then how she mentioned whenever we were talking about Gulf Coast, how like we weren't like playing as good as we like knew we could. And so whenever we saw them again, we were ready for them. We were like, we can't take any chances. We can't slack off at all like we did last time. We have to be like ready to go from the start, because if we lose this, we're done. And so we went in there with a lot stronger mentality than we did the first time, and it worked out for us.
Yeah.
Well, one thing y'all mentioned earlier, of course, is Anna Wesley being in net with no backup all season.
Yeah.
And but now Anna Wesley did a great job, got player of the week for the conference and national a few times, and rightfully so. She played her tail off. But talk about her and that back line, that defensive back line, and what they meant to this run, because I believe they had 9 shutouts, and including those 2 in playoffs. What does that mean to have such a strong back line and somebody so good in net too?
Coming from an offensive player, it's awesome to have a strong back line because like it's a forward's job to score, and like I know that because like I'm a forward, and so to be able to have confidence in a back line that if the other team is working the ball up the field and getting near them or getting near goal, to just be able to be like they got this is such a nice feeling. And like we had our strong back line, and then Wes, who was phenomenal all season, all by herself, coming in as a freshman, just playing out of her mind the whole season. It was awesome to have that security back there.
Yeah. I think they really gained confidence throughout the year too, because at the beginning of the year, it started off really rocky back there. And I think in our film sessions, everything was kind of directed at them. And the fact that they could turn it around completely and then have so many shutouts was pretty amazing, especially for Wes, like having to, I mean, I don't know how many shots she had to save. And that first game that oh man, I don't know if I would have kept playing soccer after that. She's awesome though. Really, like, her mentality throughout the year got better and better. Like, I loved watching her play, and the back line too. They got a lot stronger.
Okay, what is make it a little bit more personal here, a little bit. I want both of you to tell me about what game or what goal or game or play or something do you feel like stands out the most to you and being the most memorable? It can be something funny, serious, or whatever, but like, what's the one thing that kind of, I'm going to remember this from this game for the rest of my life, other than the wins and the losses?
Oh man.
The first thing that comes to my mind is scoring in that at-home game against Holmes. Like, it was off of a ball from Allie, and I just remember, and that was put us up 2-1. Just being in that moment, being so incredibly happy, and just like I was dead tired. It's hot and been running, and I just felt like so rejuvenated. I was just like pumped. I was ready to go. I was like, leave me in the rest of the game, coach. Let's go. It was fun. And then like the whole team, because it's Holmes, like the whole team, we were all like, yeah, and like just so much energy. It was just fun.
Yeah, I remember too, our freshman year, we lost to him 2 times. And then this was the last time we knew of that we were going to play them in the season. We didn't know we were going to see them again in the state final for sure yet. But the fact that they didn't get that like shutout on us our 2 years there, like it was really nice having a win against them. I wish that we would have done it again in the final, but it was a lot of fun. And then the time that sticks out to me is when we beat Pearl River and going to the championship. That was amazing. If you would have told me that the first day or after our first few games, I mean, like, I don't want to say I wouldn't believe you, because obviously we had to have like that confidence through the year, but like it was a great turnaround. It just like everything paid off that we had to go through that year. So it was a really good feeling.
There's one thing Grace touched on there that a lot of people don't realize, especially coming out of high school soccer, is it's hot when y'all are on the field in junior college. I want y'all to tell me a little bit about the amount of endurance that you have to have. Because I remember when Maisie got here her freshman year for camp, and I asked her, I said, how are you adjusting to the heat? She said, I've never felt heat like this coming from England. So talk a little about what it takes to play at this level and for a program that's on the rise.
The heat definitely affects how you play. 'Cause I remember my freshman year, I did like all this training going into preseason, and I was feeling ready. I got there, I was like, let's go. And then preseason's obviously rough for everybody, so I didn't like think, oh, like this means like I'm out of shape or anything, because it's just tiring all around. But then we got to the first couple of games, and I was in for like 10 minutes, and I was just spent. And I was like, what is going on? And then we played a night game, and I felt like I could run the entire time. I was like, man, this heat just takes it out of me. Brutal. Like, yeah. I was exhausted. And then night game, wait, I am in shape. It's just the heat that is crazy.
Drains you. Yeah, I ran cross country in high school, so I came in thinking, I was going to be in shape, I'd be fine. But Man, they get you. Those games really do. The 2:00 in the afternoon in the blazing heat. I mean, it drains you, and a lot of it is mental, so you have to kind of push through it. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing more to it. I feel so bad for Maisie and anybody that comes from England because our weather is completely like different. I'm pretty sure it's in the 60s there or 50s, like cold. I don't know.
It's not 95 with 90% humidity.
No,
I
that
remember
humidity.
one of the games this season, it was Pearl River at home where we won 1-0, and like I got the goal, and like after the goal, like I wanted to celebrate, but like I couldn't move my body. I was so tired. I just like stood there and was like like I
Got
couldn't.
with the ref that game
Like the pictures
because
from
of
that goal aren't cute at all. Like I'm just like I couldn't breathe.
Yeah, that was the game I got a yellow card because I asked the ref why we weren't having a break for a water break, and he was like, "Well, it's only 85 degrees." And so one of the parents looked it up on the sidelines and yelled at him, "Dude, it's 91 at our start. What are you talking about?" It was so funny, but he ended up giving me a yellow card because he thought I yelled at him later in the
I
game. But
remember that.
yelling
That was
at
really
Emily.
funny.
Yeah, Emily was telling me to like get in my place. I was like, "I'm talking to the ref," and then he was like, "Oh, like, thanks, dude. Just want some water."
Now, we touched on the back line and, of course, keeper and Wesley there. With y'all being, the midfield and the forwards. Forwards, of course, they're kind of like the quarterback in football. No matter what the team does, the quarterback gets a lot of the credit. And rightfully so. He's the one putting the points on the board. Just talk about the team, the midfielders and the forwards and y'all's roles that y'all had in that run and how y'all worked so well together to be able to get the goals, to get the wins.
Yeah, midfield is definitely you more have to like sit back and just like do your job because you're not gonna always get like that glory. But I think that was what was so awesome about our team is nobody wanted that glory because we all got it at the end of the year. I mean, we knew that we didn't have one star on the team and that everybody was like just as good as the next person. And I think that was like that really helped. Nobody was selfish. Nobody like wanted to stand in front of somebody else for that. And I mean, midfield definitely did a really good job about like just doing their job, getting the ball where it needed to go. And they definitely get yelled at the most in film, I think, because everything goes through them. But I mean, they did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, and typically like forwards will get credit because they are putting it in the back of the net, but they can't do anything if they're not getting the ball from the midfield, and their goals mean nothing if the defense isn't stopping the other team from scoring. Like it's 100% a team sport, and you couldn't do any part of it without the other people.
Okay, I do want to go back to the conference semifinal game against Pearl River real quick because me being the photographer, I did take a picture of the celebration of the first goal with Sarah, and just that intensity I feel like that intensity showed more, not necessarily relief and excitement as much as it showed that all your hard work has paid off. So what were you two feeling? Like clearly everybody saw that picture who follows ICC women's soccer, but what was y'all's feelings and how thankful were you? I didn't get you on camera, but now talk about your feelings and emotions when you saw that ball go in the net and you're like, okay, we're getting this thing. We're going to the finals.
So I can't say those words out loud. You warned me. But I was screaming for sure. I was very happy.
Oh, I was in shock because, like, I mean, and not that I didn't expect it from us, but like, the two goals came later in the game, so the whole game we're battling out, and it's kind of like, are we gonna do it? Are we not? Like, it's back and forth, and then like we got that goal, and I don't remember how much was left, like 10 minutes. I just remember being like later in the game, and just I remember being so happy. It was like it wasn't any more like, are we gonna do it? Are we not? It was like, oh my God, like we are doing it. And I was so happy in that moment. My gosh.
Yeah.
Well, now
Especially
unfortunately,
we were playing in.
Oh, go ahead, Allie. I'm sorry, I interrupt you.
I'm sorry. I was saying just especially because like the conditions we were playing in, the mud and everything. I mean, I really wish we could do a rematch of the final, but definitely like the conditions made it hard, and just fighting through that and getting those 2 goals, it was awesome.
Yeah, the conditions were rough out there. Like, and I don't think you knew how rough until you were like out there playing on the field for the semifinal and the final. Like, it was hard playing soccer in those conditions.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, it was Hines hosted it, and they did it. I feel like they did an excellent job hosting and trying to get the field ready. But there was just so much rain that dumped on that area that it was really tough on the grounds crew. And hats off to them for making it playable. But now we actually got lucky with the semifinal game because it was the first game on the field.
That's true.
Now, fast forward to the next day, and there's already been 4 games played on that field. It was slippery for sure. And unfortunately, in the final week, like y'all talked about already, we didn't get the result we wanted. And I know I made y'all take a picture with the runner-up trophy after the game. Most of y'all were not happy, and I understand because as competitors, you shouldn't be. But now looking back and saying, hey, we finished runner-up in the state, and believe it or and most people probably didn't think y'all would even be there, outside of your group, of course. So looking back, what does that mean to you, knowing that, hey, we were runner up, but we deserved everything that we accomplished?
Yeah, I think Holmes making it so far, like I think they won Region 2 and made it to the national tournament, maybe. Like I think
But they
that
made it to the play-in game.
before that. Yeah, so I think them making it, like we played a really good team. I'm not going to downplay them at all. And I think that we gave them everything we had every time we played them, and maybe just like if things would have, it could have gone either way every single game we played them, honestly. So it was just one of those days. It just didn't go our way, but making it that far, no, not everybody can say that, especially in ICC history. So it was great. It was a good experience.
Yeah, it was awesome to make it there, and then with this group, because after our first 4 games of the season, it would have been very easy to write us off, be like, oh, they're 1-3, like nothing's gonna happen with them, just an average season. But it showed like our fight and our drive, and just how much we wanted it to be able to flip like our circumstances, and because we could have easily shut it off ourselves and just been like, it's gonna be a season, but
Yeah.
we like fought through that, and then just us making it that far just proved like how hard we worked and how much we believed in ourselves. And so even though we didn't get the result, it was still a very rewarding feeling to make it to that point.
Okay, well, you mentioned the hard work, and a lot of times at this level, the hard work is a lot of individual. You have to make sure you're motivated and you're driven still. But y'all also have a head coach who's making sure that you're driven and you're working hard. Talk a little bit about Coach Stothert, as my light went off. Talk a little bit about Coach Stothert and how he was able to push each and every one of you and get the best out of you, and what he means to you now, and now that your time here playing is over.
One thing about Coach Stothert in comparison to a lot of the other coaches on campus and just like in general at other schools, he gave us a lot of freedom on our own time, and he wasn't that super strict down your throat coach all the time, like knowing where you are. And I think that put a lot of responsibility on us, and we knew that we didn't want to disappoint him because he was like a father figure to us. Still is, like, and I think that helped a lot, knowing that we had to be there for our team. We had to do our job, because if we didn't, it was going to show. Like if you weren't there, like it shows, like you miss 5 passes in a row. So he really, like, he just gave us that freedom to really just be hard on ourselves. Like he didn't have to do as much because we knew that he was like, I don't know. We didn't want to disappoint him, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree with that. He put a lot of accountability onto us. Like talking with my friends and other sports at ICC, they have like more strict guidelines with a variety of things. Whereas I'm like, oh, like our coach doesn't do that. He just expects it of us to.
Yeah.
And so he has high standards for us, and he's an awesome coach. And so we don't want to break his trust in any way. And so all of us take care of our business, and he each of us individually so well, like our strengths and weaknesses, how we react to things as a person, and like he really knows who you are. And so it's just nice to have someone that knows you and like you trust. Like
yeah, he really does take the time to get to know each and every one of us. And if we ever needed to go talk to him, you could go to his office and you talk for, he can talk. I can too. We'd go in there, we'd talk forever, and it really helps. Like it didn't have to be soccer related. Like he really cared about like what was going on in your life, and he would ask you what was going on in your life, and you couldn't lie because he knew if you're lying.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy and an awesome coach. He's there for his players.
Well, of course, none of y'all would have been brought together without him recruiting you and y'all all saying yes to come to ICC. Talk a little bit about the sisterhood that you now have with your former teammates from when your freshman year, the sophomores who left, and then now that you're leaving as sophomores and the freshmen from this year. What talk about those friendships and that, like I said, that sisterhood that you now have from ICC soccer.
Yeah, they mean the world. We still talk in our group message from freshman year, like to all those girls sometimes, like on Snapchat. And I mean, they're everybody that I've played with in the past few years are the main people I talk to on a daily basis.
Yeah, you just you spend so much time with a group of girls and you get to know them so well. Like they on both years here, like a bunch of those girls are like my best friends. Like you get to know each other so well. You spend so much time and you have common interests, like you're both playing soccer and then you're eating all your meals together and all that, and you can't help but just get so bonded and so close with everyone. And it's nice to have all these girls like in your corner for you.
Well, final question here. Talk a bit about ICC. What it means to you. What's your time here actually? What does it mean to you? The 2 years you spent here and played here and grew up here.
I've absolutely loved my time at ICC. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like it's such a special place, and just like the friendships that I made off soccer, and then like my soccer experience has been great. Like the support received from everybody it's a really good environment to be in, and like I couldn't be happier with my time there.
I agree. And I think going into ICC at first, I didn't have the right mindset because there was such like a negative connotation, like on I think female sports in the JUCO level. I think people look at it in a negative way because they're like, oh, you're only like the football players are the good ones. Like I don't think that they realize that good players go JUCO too in the female side of things. All the sports. I mean, you look at our softball program, our basketball program. I mean, just all, I don't know if I'm leaving people out, but, they're all successful, and us too, the soccer team. And, I mean, it really did mean the world to me. It completely changed my mind about JUCO. And, I mean, we're going to graduate with no student debt, it's just great. And, the whole atmosphere was amazing. And the teachers, I know them, they know our names. I loved it, and I would not trade it for the world.
Well, I know I can speak for everybody in the athletic department and sports information. We're glad y'all came here too, because it's been great getting to know y'all and watching y'all play and grow as people too. But I guess this I said lastly, but here's what I want to end on if I can, is just give me one memory, if you can, that stands out from your entire time at ICC. Not necessarily on the field, just anything that sticks out. That because I'll even share one that one of the softball girls had said that they went and played hide and seek in their cars around Fulton. And I thought that's pretty creative. I like that. But just anything fun that is a great memory of friendships or anything that you made here in your time.
I think it was this year, one of the first nights they were on campus, we took them out to the Tom Bigby and we all jumped in because that's but Grace and I, we would do that all the time, but the whole team was there, and I think some of the guys' team would come too, and it was a lot of fun, getting to share that experience with them, because it is kind of something goofy we do at ICC. Some people, if you're brave enough to jump in, because I think Gators have been caught off that dock, but it was just a lot of fun. I remember that night like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even think. I have so many good memories just flooding my mind.
Oh, our the scavenger hunt. We won 2 years in a row. Remember, Grace?
Yeah, it was fun. Soccer coach put together he calls it a scavenger hunt, but really it's just a list of tasks. You're not
running
anything. And you have to get a teacher to juggle the ball with you, and you have to go all the way. We start at the soccer field. You have to go run all the way to Itawamba Hall and pass the ball off the top thing. So it's just fun, and it's just competitive fun. And so me and Allie, we were freshman year. We just kind of happened to just get in the same group, and we won. And then this year we were the whole season, it was kind of a joke with us. We were scouting out. We were okay, so whenever we never know what's going to happen. And so the whole season we were them on our team or them, because we were trying to win this 2 years in a row.
We're you're running the whole time. You do not walk.
Yeah. We'd be thinking, okay, so this person does really good with their fitness in games. So like they'll run the whole time with us. And we're
This
trying
person hates to lose. That's why we did it. It was so funny. We're like, oh no, they're not on our team. They don't care.
to have our own little recruiting session going on all season.
That was fun.
Well, ladies, that's great. Thank y'all again for joining me. It's been so much fun to talk with y'all again. Y'all are always welcome back in Fulton whenever y'all can make it. We'd love to see you. And just can't wait to see what the future holds for both of you. And like I said, y'all are always welcome here. Y'all are always part of the ICC family. So thank y'all again.
Thank you so much.